My dear viewers, welcome to our special edition and special coverage of today as we are focusing on the latest developments concerning the Iran war and the U.S.-Iran negotiations. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Rahman, the writer, journalist and political analyst. Good evening to you, sir.
And a very good evening to you and to the dear viewers.
Thank you. Mr. Rahman, Iranian officials in Qatar for peace talks and said that they are exerting all efforts, which is a high-level Iranian delegation that includes the country's top negotiators and central bank chief were in Doha on Monday in order to discuss the peace agreement with the U.S. and to release the frozen funds. How did you follow this?
Well, I see it as a disclosure to a chapter of this historical clash in the Middle East, started by the aggression, the Israeli-American aggression against Iran, as well as drowning the whole region into chaos with its reflections economically on the whole world, that the whole world is affected by this conflict. Today we are witnessing near disclosure. We are near disclosure to this chapter. Obviously, there are almost 98% of the deal between Iran and the U.S. is being prepared with clear intentions from all over the world to put an end to this war. At least a part-time peace for the whole world to breathe some air, to stop this chaotic scene, as well as we are witnessing the latest moments before signing the deal. But still we have all possibilities can happen at any time. The deal can be off, the deal can be on, the deal can be signed in a matter of a few days. Hopefully the interference and the meddling role by Pakistan and Qatar and other roles of meddling can help signing that deal, that resolution. We cannot forget the firm situation taken by China in the American-Chinese summit that was held a week ago in Beijing. It was very significant and it was very important to redirect the course of this conflict, because when Trump went there, he wanted to buy some time or buy some situation, a positive situation from the Chinese administration towards the U.S., but obviously China has given him a strong and firm situation concerning ending this war, as well as opening doors for more cooperation between the U.S. administration and the Chinese administration. As we all know that Trump is, among other things, negative things, of course, he is a businessman. So I believe China has dealt with Trump as a businessman before anything.
Yes, Mr. Rahman, the high-level delegation, Iranian delegation today in Doha in Qatar gathers top negotiators among them, on top of whom are the Parliament Speaker Galibaf, Mohammed Galibaf, and also the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, which shows the seriousness of the talks and discussions, and that there is going to be an agreement signed on the ground. Yet, Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson said today that conclusions have been reached on many topics discussed, but concerning a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. Does not mean that Tehran is close to signing an agreement.
We all know that Iran is willing to put an end to this catastrophic scene, the catastrophe that Iran is living right now. But they don't want to end it in a way that humiliates the Iranian leadership or the Iranian nation. So I believe they are willing to sign an agreement. They are willing to meet halfway with the American demands, as well as the Americans, especially the American administration is closing to the election, the mid-term election. To the Trump administration. They want peace, especially the high refusal in the public opinion in the U.S. against this war, against this aggression. They don't see any reason behind this aggression, especially that we all know that according to the independent reports, that this war was demonstrated and masterminded by Tel Aviv in Israel. So I believe there are good intentions somehow, and they are meeting halfway moment after moment, hopefully.
Yes. Also, accompanying the delegation is the central bank chief, and also to discuss the agreement on U.S. and with the U.S. to release the frozen funds. Actually, we always feel that Tehran and Iran, is always keen on releasing the frozen funds. Give us an idea about this file, please.
Well, this file is a tricky file because the central bank is a very close to this conflict, especially also that the pressure on Iran was heavily demonstrated by the American administration throughout that file. So I believe one of the main benefits for Iran to come close to a deal is lifting the sanctions against Iran, which can open the gate for a good deal, as well as opening the Strait of Hormuz. In the meantime, the Trump administration has declared something. They are keeping tackling on time after time, which is pushing the Arabic regime to sign the Abraham Accord, which is a very negative sign and a very threatening to our own national security as Egyptian and as Arab. This accord was the main reason, or one of the main reasons, that the Gulf countries were in the eye of the hurricane, because according to this accord, the Abraham Accord, Gulf countries were into this conflict and a part of this conflict, and that made it a target for the Iranian reflection against the aggression. According also, of course, to the military American military bases in Gulf countries. So I believe those accords is the main strategic threat to our own national security, our own existence as Arabs, because they mean that melting the whole territory, the Arabic and the Hebrews, into one region with the leading of the Israeli leadership in Tel Aviv. This is the most important and strategic challenge today, to refuse this demand, this American demand to sign those Abraham Accords, which are the main strategic threat. And it's also connected to what they call it, the new Middle East map that is being applied in the Middle East. Can this happen or not? I don't know. But we still waiting for firm situation from the Arab administrations against this accord.
Yes. Mr. Abdel, the spokesman of Ismail Baghai, Iranian spokesperson, said that Iran is negotiating on putting an end to the war, or continuing in this status of ceasefire. And said that Iran is not currently negotiating or discussing the nuclear file. This statement, how does it show that Iran is in control of the situation?
Well, of course, Iran is not in control of anything. But we are struggling for a respectable deal and to preserve their credit for this struggle against the American aggression. We also know there is no other way but to let go the nuclear stock and to be delivered to a third country. Could be China, could be Russia maybe, but I believe China is the perfect choice for receiving the nuclear stock of Iran. Of course, this would be the main point here, and this, by the way, should be applied and should be accepted by the Iranian administration, as well as we all know that Iran possesses the potential technologically and industrially to reshape or remanufacture nuclear stock at any time later. But of course, this is their right, as well as any country's right to have its own nuclear technology. I believe Iran is willing to take that chance, but in the way that preserves its dignity.
Yes. Also, the Iranian spokesman have said that the repeated changes in the positions of the U.S. officials create problems for any agreement. How did you explain this statement?
When you find an obstacle, search for Israel. When you hear about a piece of news talking about obstacles or problems in the course of reaching out a resolution, search for Israel, because they are behind that aggression since day one, and even before this, in the past aggression, in the last year, the 12 days aggression, it was masterminded with the Israeli administration. So I believe that these units' existence is trying to drown the whole region into chaos. A chaos that, from this chaos, the Israeli leadership or the bigger Israel emerge from this chaos according to their own agenda. This is the main target of in Israel. So I believe that this can never happen easily as long as the Egyptians and the Arabs and the sincere powers in the world are really standing against those creeds.
Yes. Also, meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday that a deal with Iran would either be great and meaningful, or there would be no deal. How did you? Yes.
Of course, he's always playing both ways, opening the gate for any deal with or against the resolution. So I believe if Trump thinks for once in a logic way, preserving his country's best interest really, for one, not according to the agenda of Israel or his own agenda, he will find it best for him to reach an agreement.
Yes. Yes, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the deal with Iran will either be the great, yes, as we said. Iran have warned Monday that while some progress and had been made, it was not yet close to striking a deal with the United States and to end the Middle East war, as U.S. President Donald Trump have also said he was in no hurry to sign. U.S. President saying that he's not in a hurry to sign an agreement, but what we can feel is that the United States is really in a hurry to continue in the ceasefire or sign an agreement.
I believe signing an agreement will be reached out eventually.
Yes.
I believe so. We don't know anything for sure yet, but this is appearing to be close. But will this ceasefire will be literally a ceasefire? That means that this conflict can be ignited or reignited again and again and again. That is a question. A matter of reaching out a resolution or a final agreement raises the big question: will this be an only ceasefire for reigniting the fire, or will this be permanent ceasefire, and a permanent agreement, and a permanent peace in this region? This is the main question here. Not the question is will they sign an agreement or not? They will sign an agreement eventually, apparently. But will this agreement will be final and permanent, or just a ceasefire waiting for another chapter of the same conflict with the same agenda, or maybe with a different scenario?
Yes.
And also, will Trump push around the Arabic regime with the card of signing the Abraham Accord to manipulate those regimes with peace against according signing those accords? I don't believe that this will be just a question to be answered in days, but situations will reveal the truth about all situations.
Yes, Mr. Abdel, we know, and it's very well known, that Iranians are very good negotiators, and that was what exactly the U.S. President have said before, praising the Iranian negotiators and saying they are great negotiators. He knows this, and saying that he knows this very well. And it's very well known to everybody in the world that they are professional negotiators. And of course we remember the late top negotiator Ali Larijani. Despite that they are very good in negotiating, why is it taking that long time? Why in the first round of talks and negotiations in Pakistan there was not a deal signed until now? Well,
of course, the Iranian negotiator is a tough and a firm and also
wise,
clever
negotiator. Yes.
Because he's a man coming from an ancient culture.
Yeah.
He's got an identity. He's got a nationality. He's got history. He's got civilization under his blood. Just like any civilization in the whole world. Just like the Egyptians, we are the best negotiator. We all remember how the Egyptian negotiator dealt with the devil until we have regained our own land in Taba throughout negotiations with the Israelis. We are, as a nation, we are civilization. Unlike the Americans have no civilization. They are only cowboys gathered the tools of the culture from here and there and build up an empire. So this is the difference, of course. They have the right, the Americans, they have the right to admire the Iranian negotiator, because this is the difference between negotiating between a cowboy and a civilization.
Mr. Abdel Rahman, actually 2 days ago, or the day before yesterday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a phone call from you as President Donald Trump, and the conversation was a conference between U.S. President Donald Trump, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and President the King of Jordan and King Abdullah II of Jordan, and the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and also of President Mohammed bin Zayed of United Arab Emirates, and of the Prince of Bahrain. How did you follow? Yes, that was a very important call or conference over the phone between these leaders in order to negotiate concerning. We felt there is going to be a very near agreement, or give us an idea about your insight concerning this important conference call.
Well, I believe that the only thing here they have talked about were two things. First, the situation in Gaza Strip, as we are witnessing the on and ongoing aggression by the Zionistic existence against the Palestinians in Gaza Strip, despite the agreement reached in Sharm el-Sheikh the last year. And this is a huge threat to our own national security in Egypt and the whole region, because the Palestinians in Gaza Strip, they have fulfilled their terms and they are committed to this agreement, unlike the Israeli side. This is one for one. The second thing is there are American pressure against the Egyptians, against the Arabs at large, to sign and to gather under the umbrella of the Abraham Accord. And I believe, I am sure, that the Egyptian administration will convince the Arabs that how dangerous those accords to our own national security, and to stand side by side against those agreements that are the main strategic threat to our own national security, our own existence as Arabs. Because the ultimate goal of those accords is to put the whole region under the leadership of Israel. And that is connected, of course, with the aggression against Iran, because when Israel is the only nuclear power in the region that will hand over the leadership of this region easily. So this is the main task to the Arabs today.
Yes, Mr. Abdel Rahman, as we can see that Israel is completely excluded from the agreement or the discussions or the talks. Give us an idea about this. Why is this happening? What does this show?
Well, this really, as a reflection or as a consequence of the Israeli aggressive situation towards Iran, and again, it's the stability in the region. Israel is a rogue nation or a rogue state, a rogue existence in the region. So it only spreads violence and chaos. And that's why it was excluded from the direct talk. But I believe the Israeli hands are behind the curtain, especially from the American side.
Yes. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Amr Abdurrahman, writer, journalist, and political analyst. We really had the pleasure to have this phone with you, and thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for following us on this special coverage of the day. And please stay tuned for more updates on Nile TV International. The French transmission takes over at 6 p.m. Cairo local time. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.